We offer humble prayers and immense gratitude to Lord the Almighty. We seek His grace and blessings to make this knowledge a living reality in our lives. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara for having made this knowledge available to us. So we are on this Divine Discourse number 27 on the 6th of May 2020, a Wednesday, Sharvari Nam Samvatsar, Uttarayan, Vasant Rutu, Vaishakha Mas, Shukla Paksh, Chaturdasi. So eventually tomorrow happens to be a full moon day. So we start our lessons. So far we have been studying the qualities of a Sthita Prajna. So Arjuna has asked, "Oh Lord, tell me what are the qualities of a Sthita Prajna? I want to understand. We are talking so much about the mind and the senses. How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he speak? What is his mental frame of mind? I want to know that." So from the verse 55 onwards, he starts talking about the qualities of a Sthita Prajna, which eventually mean that we too have to inculcate such qualities to achieve what we are looking at in life. Siddhasya Lakshanani Sadhakasya Sadhanani. Anybody who has achieved a decent amount of expertise or name or made a mark in any field of knowledge, so you take him as an ideal and you would like to become that person. So for that you study each and every aspect of that person. How he talks, how he behaves, how he thinks, how he negotiates, how he organizes himself. So in the same way, here for a spiritual speaker, all the qualities of this Sthita Prajna come of use to us. Okay. So we got to know so far that in terms of the senses and the mind, they're extremely impactful. The vasanas have a very strong impact on our mind. And if one has to overcome all that, you need to be steady in a stable mind. So continuing on that, what Lord Krishna tells in verse number 58. Okay. Can you all repeat after me, please? This is chapter 2, verse number 58. Yada samharate chayam kurmongani sarvashah indriyanindriyartebhyah tasya prajna pratishtita. How do the senses get disturbed or attracted? What makes them disturbed or attracted? is primarily the objects of sense pleasures or sense desires. So here Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, just as a tortoise, you have seen a tortoise, how it withdraws its limbs, its head, everything into its shell. In the same way, a person of a stable mind will not allow the senses to go out. He will withdraw. Whenever he sees something very alluring, very demanding, so he just withdraws. See, we have also, you all must have experienced this, when you're going with your kid, let's say, you're going in the market and suddenly you see an ice cream shop over there. What do? You place your hand over his eyes. No, don't look that side, don't look that side. Look straight, look straight. Is there any toy shop? And enough of toys have already been bought. The house is loaded with toys. Then when you see a toy shop, you'll try to divert the attention of the child so that he doesn't look at the toy shop. Those are the objects of pleasure for the child. In the same for elders, there are several other things. So there one has to. Now we are not a small child. Nobody is going to come and close our eyes here. So we have to withdraw all our limbs, our attention. Here there's a saying in Srimad Bhagavatam, Na jatu kama, kamanam upabhogena shantihi. Havisha Krishna vartmeva bhuya eva bhi vardhate. What does this mean? They say fulfilling the desires of the senses does not reduce them or extinguish them. It is just like you want to put out fire, you are like pouring butter or ghee in the fire to put it off. It is going to become stronger. So even in future also we will see in so many places what a desire can create. It is discussed in detail. So here this says that kind of liking towards an object or that desire once experienced, it's going to come back to you with force, asking you for more and more. So keep away. Best thing is withdraw your mind and senses from the objects of sense pleasure. These desires can be compared to like an itch in the body. Sometimes, you see, somewhere it starts itching. It's really uncomfortable. You just want to itch. And if you start itching, what happens is for some time there is a kind of a good feeling. Oh, thank God. But after a while the itch returns with much greater force. It would have been better if we could tolerate it for some time. Then it loses its sting actually. It dies down slowly. But here, just because we initially wanted to get some relief, we did that itching, and thereafter it'll ask for more and you are again into trouble. Then what happens? You will have a problem with the skin because it gets deep on the skin, it hurts the skin, and several other things. So the same logic is to be applied.
But some participants may be experiencing temporary audio issues. Our teams are working to resolve this as quickly as possible.
Am I clear? Everybody is able to hear well? There were some announcements from the platform. Okay, thank you, Jaya. So here what they are saying is an enlightened person or a stronger sadhak is one who would, to avoid it at the basic level, don't look at it. See what happens. Let's say you're going in the market. You see something nice which is displayed outside. And you say, anyway, I don't want to buy, but let's go and have a look. What's the problem? And there, when you go, the shopkeeper is not going to leave you. See, these are all marketing techniques. He's going to say, Madam, don't buy. First thing he's saying, who's asking you to buy? Don't buy. Just come and see. We'll be glad to show you. And then you go inside and then you start. One after the other, he goes on showing you and you start liking them. He said, what's the harm if I buy one? You'll make up your mind. And then you'll end up in buying 2 or 3 or 4 more. So the first step is don't even look. If your eyes fell on it, turn it away. So this is one of the qualities of a Sthita Prajna. Now, here, there was one sadhu in a village. One of his devotees, he came running to him and he said, Maharaj, the village is accusing you of something wrong, So he comes saying that the village is talking about you. He says, he just raises his hand, he says, stop. It's true, he said. But this devotee says, I didn't even tell you what it is. You said it's true. Did anybody else come and tell you before me? I thought I was the first who's coming and informing you. He said, no, nobody told me. Then how do you know about it? I don't want to know. Which means he put a stop to it. Whatever it is, what people talk about me, in what way it is going to help me, harm me, when I have done nothing. Now I listen to it. Then I'll ask who said it and who were all there discussing about it. And it's going to rack your mind and eat your mind and your concentration. So there he says, in such a stage, you withdraw there itself. Now don't give another word. He says, yes, it is true. That's all. This is the status of a Sthita Prajna. He will not want to get or indulge himself in unnecessary things. If somebody is talking, it is their headache. It's not my headache. We'll move to the next verse. 59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Now here, param drishtva nivartate. Rasavarjam rasopyasa. Here Sri Krishna brings another point. You may restrain from the senses or from the objects of enjoyment. You may restrain. Good. But the taste of that what you had enjoyed earlier, that remains in you. Like if somebody is fasting, yes, he has a control. I'm not going to eat today. I'm on a fast. Somebody is sick. His tongue, he has lost his taste. So his tongue is not really giving him the desire to eat tasty things. because his sense of taste has gone. So these are situations like you have temporarily held them. So then what? How do I control them? He says, here the Lord says, here for you, you have to, since that rasa or that earlier taste or experience of enjoyment is there in your mind, the desire returns back. So what you have to do, he says, you have to look for something higher in your life, Arjuna. Look for something higher. So that you have to now make this something small in front of what you are aspiring for higher. And here the Taittiriya Upanishad says, Raso vai saha rasam he vayam labdha nandi bhavati. It says, God is all bliss. When your soul attains God, it becomes satiated in bliss. Like if you have had a sumptuous, hearty meal, and then somebody comes and says, hey, why don't you eat this roti and sabji, it is good. You say, what? That will be your attitude, reaction, isn't it? I have had a sumptuous meal now, and now you're coming and saying, eat this roti and sabji, it's very good. Why? Because I've already experienced something much better. See, compared to a very special meal, dal, sabji, roti is a routine thing, isn't it? And that too when you're already in this, meaning you are full, satiated. So same way, a person who has derived that bliss from the Lord, association with the Lord, he will not look for small things in life, for all these small pleasures. Even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also, he expresses the same principle, he expresses in a loud voice. Devotion is love for the highest, and the lowest shall fall away by itself. Have that devotion for that Lord, and all these small things will not matter at all for you. Tapovan Maharaj, who was the teacher to Swami Chinmayananda, he had a habit on the same front where you have experienced in the past those desires. Anytime you have experienced those desires, rasa means that flavor, it can pull you back. So what he used to do is, he used to go on a bhiksha every day. Whoever gave him food, he used to take that and he used to have his food. So like he goes somewhere, they gave him sabji, they gave him dal, they gave him roti. He used to come to his ashram, remove the roti and the chawal, keep it aside, and that sabji and dal, he used to put it in a piece of cloth, a thin, that dhoti cloth, no, which is very thin. He used to tie it in that. Ganges river was just opposite, about 30-40 meters away from the kutia. You cross the road and go down 20 steps. The Ganges river was there, vibrantly flowing. So he used to go there and dip this cloth inside the river, so that all the oil, the spices, the salt, and the strong flavors, all of them get washed away. And then he used to come back to kutia, open it, and with that rice and roti, he used to eat that sabji and dal. Now that rasa means what? That which can leave a flavor in your mind. Those spices, that salt, that is what One has to get rid of that. And the method here which is told is, you look for the higher. Then you will have some control, otherwise you have to be careful. Now we come to the next verse, 60. यततो ह्यापि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमातीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः. इंद्रियाणि प्रमातीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः. इंद्रियाणि senses, pramatini haranti, they will carry away turbulently, not just like that. Prasabam, again he uses another adjective, prasabam, forcibly. What? Manaha, the mind. The senses are so strong that turbulently and forcibly they will carry away your mind. So even a person who is endowed with this kind of a knowledge and who is practicing self-control, he too will have a problem. The senses are like wild horses that have been just now brought under control. They've been just trained, newly trained. And constantly the sadhak has to keep taming them, strengthening them, and see that he does not indulge. Now we understood, it is like that itching, what I said. The slight itching, you start scratching, then the itch becomes more stronger. So he has to keep a mind on that. Here there's a beautiful story in the Srimad Bhagavatam which talks about this particular aspect, that you may be a sadhak who has moved ahead, who felt that you have already controlled your senses, everything is fine, but at no point see that the control on the horse or on your mind senses is let loose. It can any time drag you down. So this comes under Canto 9, Chapter 6. So in the ancient times, there was a great sage known as Saubhari. So this also comes in Rigveda, where there is known as a Saubhari Sutra. He's so famous. There is a scripture itself known as Saubhari Samhita in his name. He was no ordinary sage. And this Saubhari sage had attained so much control over his body, his mind, and his tapashakti and all that was applaudable. His practice was, he used to go inside the river Yamuna and meditate underwater. That was his capacity in terms of control on his mind, body, senses, all his body organs, even his breath. So one day while he was doing this tapas underwater, he saw two fish mating over there. Now what happened? The moment he saw this, his mind and senses, they gave a kind of a desire for a sexual association in his mind. He saw them very lovingly, they're mating. Now he said, okay. He comes out of the water and he says, now the mind starts thinking, how do I fulfill this desire of mine? So till now he is a celibate. He has seen this. His senses are attracted. The mind is wanting. Now the mind comes up with thoughts. So his first thoughts which comes to his mind is, During those days, the king of Ayodhya was Mandhata, who was a very illustrious and a noble ruler. And he had 50 daughters who were extremely beautiful. Each one was beating the other. Imagine what was the kind of the beauty of those princes. Now he goes into the court of King Mandhata. The moment he comes, King Mandhata is surprised. He felt honored. He also scared. So many emotions coming in him. Why? Because such a great sage has come to him without notice all of a sudden. He goes, prostrates before him, and he says, "Oh, my dear sage, what can I do for you?" He says, "Mandata, Rajan, you have 50 daughters. I want to get married to one of your daughters." Now he is an old man. He is wanting to get married. Who will marry him? He knows now if I give even one daughter in marriage to this old man, it is like I'm ruining my daughter's life, isn't it? So what he does is, Maharishi, what I'll do is I'll call all my 50 daughters and you propose to them. Whoever comes first, you please marry her. So there he feels that, see, I have told, I'm not going to go back on my words. I'm going to call my daughters. I know that none of my daughters will accept him because he is very old and he's not worth for a marriage or relationship. So then he has got no choice. Luckily what happened is the Maharishi agreed. Okay, fine. Having said that, he immediately tells him, okay, then we'll do one thing, I'll come tomorrow. And he goes back. Now he goes back to his ashram. There with his yogic powers, what he does is he turns himself into a young, handsome man. Extremely handsome, robust. And he comes to the palace the next day. And what happens? The king has to agree now. He has said, I'll call all the 50 daughters. Whoever is willing to marry you, you can marry her. Now all the 50 daughters come. They see this sage. And all 50 say, we want to marry. All of them are saying, we want to marry this sage. So bhari. Now the king has no choice. He's given a word and it's happening as per that. Okay, fine. He gets all of them married to the sage. No, but then the king is concerned, all 50 of them like sisters sharing one husband. What kind of a situation this would be? There would be fights, there would be jealousy, all these kind of things. So then he requests the sage, can you do something about this? You are the Maha Yogi, you can do many things. So he says, don't worry, O Raja. He creates 50 forms of himself and 50 palaces for all his wives. Separately, they are going to live separately and each one has their husband now. This sage in 50 different forms. Likewise, thousands of years passed by. Now the Purana state, Saubhari had so many children from each of them, and those children had further children, and eventually those 50 palaces and places for all their children and children and children, it was a tiny city over there. One day, Saubhari, suddenly it comes to his senses, he exclaimed, Aho imam pashyata me vinasham. This is in Bhagavatam, he says this, 9.6.50. O humans, those of you who make plans to attain happiness with material acquisitions, be careful. Look at my degradation, what has happened. Where I was and where am I now? He says, I've created 50 bodies with my yogic powers and lived with 50 women for thousands of years, and yet these senses did not experience fulfillment. They kept on hankering for more. This is the autobiography of a desire. It is never going to end. It will constantly keep hampering you, hankering you, troubling you, disturbing you, agitating you for more and more and more. So, a Sthita Prajna is one who understands this and makes his moves in life. Okay. So we'll take this 61 tomorrow. Shall we do meditation now together? So all of you, please be comfortable wherever you are seated. See that your entire body is relaxed. Your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Your eyes gently closed. Keep a smile on your face. Ensure your forehead is completely relaxed. Let's take a few deep breaths. Slowly and gently inhale and exhale. Now we shall do the Panchakosha Viveka meditation. Here we are going to understand what is that permanent thing and what are all the impermanent things. Anything which is seen is an object. So using this principle, let's move ahead. Now slightly clench your fist. And release. This is my body. I can see my body. I can feel my body. And the body has no permanent existence of its own. So, it's an object. It's not me. Label it Annamaya Kosha, the body. Let's go deeper. Am I the Pranamaya Kosha? The life forces within me. Can I see the pranas? Can I feel the pranas? Focus on the tip of your nose and nostrils. Feel the air and sensation slowly going in and slowly coming out. This too is not me. I can see it. I can feel it. It is an object different from me. It is not independent by itself. So, it's impermanent, anitya. Label this the Pranamaya Kosha. It's not me. Then am I the mind? Let's go deeper. Now, let's examine our mind. Can we see the mind? Can we feel the mind? Yes, I can feel the mind. A stream of thoughts cross my mind. continuously. Sometimes they are more in number, sometimes less. I know when I'm sad. I know when I'm happy. I know when there is fear in my mind. I can feel the anger also in my mind. The mind is full of emotions, positive and negative. I can vividly see all these changes in the mind. Mind too is an object which I am aware of. It is not me. I am different from my mind. Label it the mind. Then, am I the intellect? Which governs the mind, the Buddhi Shakti? Let's examine. The mind sometimes says, I understand. And sometimes says, I don't understand. Sometimes it feels proud. And sometimes it feels shameful. Can we test the intellect and see its presence vividly? If one mango costs 5 rupees, How much will be for 10 mangoes? See there, you could see number 50, and you could see the mangoes as well. That is your intellect. As I'm able to see my intellect too, it's not me. I'm different from the intellect. The intellect does not have its own strength. It is dependent on some external factor. Label it Vijnanamaya Kosha. And I'm not that. Let's dive a little deeper. And there you see a state of complete thoughtlessness. Absence of thoughts. Almost nil. A state of bliss. Being ignorant of nothing. Even this too is clearly visible to me, which is now and not there before. This too is an object which comes and goes. Label it Anandamaya Kosha. And I'm not that. Then what am I? You are that consciousness, that awareness, that sentiency, that Chetana Shakti, which gives life to all these five sheets. All the five sheets draw life and energy from this consciousness. This consciousness is at one state, which is permanent, eternal, infinite, formless, changeless, indestructible, all-pervading, existence, bliss. How do I know the consciousness? Can I see the consciousness? Consciousness is a no thing, but not nothing. It is everything in the entire universe. It pervades the entire universe. All that you see, you experience, are like waves in the ocean of the Supreme Consciousness. Feel the energy and the strength in your body. The awareness in your body. The sentiency in your body. And that is consciousness, the Supreme Being. And that Supreme Being is the only thing which is permanent, infinite, and eternal in this cosmos, universe. Rest all, come and go. If you consider yourself that you are the body, the mind, You are the Jiva, the transmigrating soul. If you consider yourself to be that pure consciousness, you are one with that consciousness. And that feeling of oneness with the consciousness terminating the thought that you are not the body, not the mind, not the pranas, is a realized state. It may be there for a few seconds. Till that awareness is in you, you are realized. The moment the awareness goes away, you are back to being a jiva. So knowing this very well, being established in that supreme truth, as much as you can, is being in the state of nirvana, enlightenment. Now slowly rub your palm, place them on our eyes. You could repeat it 3 times, you will feel better. And then gently and lovingly open your eyes. Feel the warmth in your palm, soothing your eyes. Now that you have all had a glimpse of that Supreme Being within yourself, using the same practice, one can be associated with this divine consciousness as much as you can, which will take you closer and closer to your true self. When you are in the state of self-realization, the mind becomes weaker and weaker, and the agitations, the negative emotions, the disturbances of the mind will all slowly start reducing their impact on you. Thereby, you become a more calm, composed, and a happy mind. Anybody has questions, please? Two options: you can either type or you can come on Q&A, whatever you feel like. Okay, we'll see the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We humbly seek the grace and blessings of the Almighty for having showered His love and shown mercy on us. We beseech that He continues to do so. Our gratitude and salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Thank you everybody for being a part of this wonderful divine journey. Looking forward to see you all tomorrow. I made a separate clipping for this meditation. Yesterday's meditation, I had recorded it separately. So I'll post it on the group so you all can practice that independently, where it's just that meditation of the 20-22 minutes which we have done in the end. So you don't have to open the entire lecture for this. Okay. Thank you one and all. Hari Om.